Hello, today I'd like to show you Feather Cottage. Feather Cottage is about the usual size I make my journals, but I did something different this time. It's semi-hard cover, semi-soft cover if that makes sense. And instead of making a tassel, I put a couple of, I think they're clay beads with some vintage beads from jewelry. The little ones aren't vintage, but I think these ones are, that match the color on the cover and the theme. So this lady here, I don't believe that's her cottage. You'll see the cottage when we turn the page. I think that's an outbuilding, and she's just feeding the chickens. I've had chickens, and oh my goodness, that brings back good memories. Let's see, she is 6 3/4 wide by 9 in length. She's one signature, and the spine is about 1.5 inches. It's kind of a curved spine. I love this color. I love this color so much that I was jealous. I thought, oh, I want to make this for me, but I have this little rule where if I make something on a weekday, then it's for my Etsy shop. And if I make it on a Sunday, then I get to keep it. So the next day I started working on a green one for myself because it's a Sunday. And then I started to feel bad because I liked how it turned out too. And I thought, oh, but maybe people would like this one too. Anyways, yeah, silly me. This one, Feather Cottage, is cottage and feather theme, bird theme, flowers, cozy, kind of like feather your nest too. Well, this ribbon here has been tea-dyed and scrunched up to look older, and she's not attached. And the journal doesn't really need it, but it's just nice to have that little extra protection when she's sitting about. And on the back, you can see the vintage doily goes all the way around. And now for the part that I'm most excited about is how I did the insides. So what I did was, there is a cereal box that I usually use, and I glued, of course, the fabric to it. And then on the inside, I glued some wallpaper sample, really sturdy wallpaper, and also this antique linen, and made it so there's a pocket at the front and at the back. And then I sewed, of course, the whole thing on and let this hang up a bit because I think it looks really lovely from the front. Welcome to Feather Cottage. Do you notice there's some birds on the roof, of course, because the lady here likes birds. And I think she has a guardian angel that watches over the birds as well. A little tea-dyed card I thought went well with the first page. And I used some things from Anna Green Gables' journal, Feather, for Feather Cottage, and pictures from magazines and an old book page, and I put some tea bag over top with Mod Podge to give it a older look, and sewed around the edge and put tea-dye paper on the back for journaling. And there's a lot of cutesy vintage buttons in here, like ones that it's a little hard for me to let go of them, but I mean, everything is twice as nice when you share it, right? And there's another vintage one there. It's a little tuck spot under this ruffle. The cutesy little spot for extra journaling. And it goes, oh, you put it anywhere there, add other things there too as well. On this page, we've got an owl. This is kind of owl that comes to our garden. We've made it into a tuck spot. It's a little notebook here. And this is from a vintage World Book Encyclopedia. There's some other things in here too from it as well. The journaling card I thought that went well with the theme of this book. Lots of writing space and extra room to, you know, tuck more things in there, receipts or cards or tickets. And this old button here almost looks like it's got fabric around the edge, but it's not. It's lovely. And this here, this vintage linen, what I did with this was I ironed it onto some almost like freezer paper, butcher paper, and then I also sewed and put some gesso on it for writing space, because I thought it looked nice. It kind of has a shabby chic cottage look to it. And there's a tuck spot there with writing space and a little extra writing space in here as well. This you can stamp on it too. William Morris pattern. And a very old mother of pearl button. That's a vintage button too. And a little tuck spot here for journaling. And here's a page from the World Book Encyclopedia, the vintage book. And there's parts of a bird there. Lots of tea-dyed paper in this journal. And every cottage has to have a teapot. Move this up a little bit. And in this spot there is a journal card, writing space on the front and back with a vintage button. Tuck spot here. Tea-dyed envelope and card for writing. Stamped with a bird on a flower. And this is a picture of one of my bird linens that I have. Butterfly stamp here, some lace, and in here, first of all, these are really old mother of pearl buttons. Inside here we've got some writing space and a couple of cards to write on in there too. And a tuck spot for more journaling. This is from, I think this book is from the 30s. There's a couple of really old books I've took some pages out of that I thought are great for feathering your nest. Needlework. And some on this side as well to do with needlework. Some birds and some writing space there. There we go. Couldn't remember how I did that. You can color this, or could do a collage on it. Use a pocket with, I thought this was sweet, and it goes with the colors of the hummingbird. And that is actually a postcard, and I don't know what language that is on the back. And this is from a calendar page, and this is vintage lace on here. And on this side, there's a tuck spot here. And, oh, I forgot about this little button. Isn't this sweet? And tuck spot here. It's just journaling cards. And on this side, there's a little teeny flip. And I thought this went nice with this quilt. This is a picture of a old quilt that someone gave me. It's part of it. Very cottage looking, this picture. Same with the quilt. And lots of journaling space. Hidden journaling space. That reminds me, I need to check my bird bath, see if it's clean. And a little tea-dyed envelope that I made. Little journal card. This is from the Anne of Green Gables diary. It's actually a journal, I guess. It's pretty big. But it's from a thrift store and it hadn't been used. And I knew that it wasn't something that I would probably use. So I'm using it for making interesting things for junk journals instead. Vintage button. Love this green. Book page from a children's book. Little tuck spot here with a journaling tag. You could use it as a bookmark. And this is a picture from a magazine. And these pages that look like this, these are tea-dyed adult coloring book pages that I also thrifted. And this is something that I had thrifted, lithograph. Vintage button. Some writing space here. Picture of a old doily that I have. I tea-dyed that as well. On this spot here, there is a tuck spot too, and there's lots of room for more things. Not sure what language it is on the back of here. Somewhere in Europe. On this side, we have a tuck spot with journaling card. And more journaling space here. And this picture is from a vintage bird book. And I've glued and sewn it onto a tea-dyed coffee filter. And there's a little cluster I made from my cluster box. I think if you saw my last video, you know that I have a little cluster box now that instead of tossing these little pieces away, I throw them in there and then they come in handy. Yeah, this is one from one of the old books, and I just think I'm gonna need to go get those books right now. I think they're really handy. I think they're just over on the shelf here. Yes. Hopefully my cats aren't gonna wake up now because I'm walking around. Okay, so yeah, here's one of the books that I'm harvesting things from. It's really oldie. And this one here is even older. Love the picture. It's darling. Yeah, it's from 1938. Or 1930. Yeah, or 1939. So that's what I'll be using in a lot of my journals now. Cute things that they write in here. I'll tag here. And this is a altar paper clip with a little writing spot. And there's a pen with the feather, of course. And a tuck spot on the back as well. The stamp from, I think that's about 30 years old. Nice page from Edith Holden's book. More eggs. This is from a magazine, and I put some fabric behind it and stitched it on there to make a journal card. The altar paperclip has a lovely vintage button that matches the blue here and here. Love it. Two journal cards, tea-dyed paper, made to fit the theme of this page. And there's a mother of pearl button. And this is hand-dyed paper doily with tea-dyed coffee filter behind it. Makes it a little easier to use it, less fragile. Little tuck spot here. I thought that picture was so sweet. And I made a little card to go underneath it from tea-dyed paper and washi tape. Keep forgetting I have washi tape. And I think this is vintage lace. I haven't used it before. Isn't that lovely? And I thought this picture of wildflowers, I mean, cottages always have wildflowers nearby, or even in them. I know mine does. And a little tuck spot there. Lots of writing space. That's from a magazine. And I usually tea-dye my pictures from magazines too. I know that's an extra step, but I love how it makes them look. There's a little card there. Writing space underneath. And a tuck spot with another card from wherever that's from. Netherlands? I don't know. Someplace in Europe. And on the back, you see it's a postcard. It's got writing space. And there's room for more things to go in there. Little pocket there. Journaling. You can journal on here as well. Children's book page. Another litho, bird, and this is William Morris pattern. Lots of writing space in here. There's the other part of that quilt, and I made a tuck spot here using some of my, I pulled the card out from the other side. We'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, I made this from a copy of some, I think it was bead dyeing that I did. And then this is from an old book I had in my desk. Some fabric sample there. I almost forgot to make a card for this. I was looking this over today and went, oops, I forgot to make a tag for in there because I think it looks nice. Have something in a pocket. And here, oh, this button, it's lovely. I haven't seen one like it before. Like, it's very unique in the way it's a triangle pattern rather than a square. There's a journaling card here. And a tea-dyed fabric pocket. And over here, interesting artwork. This artist is no longer alive. It's an interesting story. I went to the website. Coloring page, needlework, buttonhole stitch, neat, and it gives you directions too for feathering your nest. This is coffee dyed. It's a tiny bit brittle, so I used some washi tape on the fold on the other side. You'll see in a moment. And tea dyed card, or it might be coffee dyed. Oh, I can't remember. Looks like I might have painted coffee on this one. It's got that look, and it looks so much like that. This is tea dyed. Nice tuck spot with a old button there. And on this side, tuck spot, and this is a little on the brittle side. I actually used a nail file on here to make sure that it wasn't sharp, so I was worried about getting a paper cut from that. And there's the washi tape there because this is a little bit brittle. But I love this picture. I like the pattern that I did. That was using a plastic placemat. And it's a little bit of bling there. Tea-dyed paper. More of the World Book Encyclopedia page to do with birds. And more of the eggs. Oh, love this color. In fact, I was happy to find a spot for this because this is something I made a while ago. I think I learned it from Pam at the Paper Outpost. Older paper clip. I think this is an older paper clip too. And a tuck spot over here. Journaling card, William Morris pattern paper. And oh, I thought this was fun. Made a little pocket on this old card, invitation card. And they're all blank on the back, these little mini cards for journaling. And this, of course, is blank on the back. And this is also an altered paper clip. This one's a hidden one. And that really old button there. It's similar to the big one at the front that has almost a fabric look to the edge. Here's the other side of the hidden paper clip. More William Morris, I think I'm saying the name right, pattern paper. And on this page I made a little booklet from Anna Green Gables' journal. That robin doesn't look very happy, does it? Must be raining. And that looks like something you'd find in a cottage too. And this is paper from an old book, and I tea dyed it. Put a stamp on it of a bird. And this is also from the Anna Green Gables journal. And I tea dyed those papers before I used them in here as well. This button here, oh wow, it's so pretty. It has an interesting back on it, as if it's got copper or something. It's a little bit green on the back. Reminds me of a antique garden ornament. And a little shiny one down here too. And in here, F for flowers, but also for feathers. Extra journaling space. Some tea-dyed cotton, holding it together and so on. So the book, the journal does stay closed pretty good, but I'll include this because that way it just kind of keeps it safe and maybe anything from falling out as well, I guess. So what do you think of this new style? I mean, I like variety and I like to change things up. So I'm not saying I'm always going to make them like this from now on, but I really did enjoy just, yeah, how it really hugs the pages, the softer cover. Not sure when I'll put this on Etsy because it's late in the day. It took me longer than I expected. Everything's taking me longer than I expected this week. Yeah, I'm having a lot of executive functioning failures, but I'm learning a lot this week too. So something good came of it. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Let me know what you think of this color. Should I make another one like this color for sale and this kind of shape and yeah, style? I'm thinking of it. Take care. Bye.